stop. Aries, listen carefully. Something is shifting on November 24, and almost nobody knows about it. This Tuesday energy, it's not normal, it's not random, it's not mild, it's violent, it's sudden, it's destiny level. Something is unlocking, something is cracking open, something is speeding toward your life at full force, a portal, a breakthrough, a turning point you didn't see coming. And here's the part that hits hardest. You weren't supposed to escape this moment. Out of millions, you were the one pulled into it. Aries, your name is written inside this shift. This isn't coincidence. This is a signal. The universe is moving towards you, fast. Aries, something about this Tuesday doesn't feel normal. You can sense it. That strange tension in the air, that pressure behind the scenes, that feeling that something is building, but you can't name it yet. This Tuesday carries a cosmic red alert, and it's aimed directly at you, not the world, not the zodiac, you. Tuesday has always belonged to Mars, and Mars belongs to Aries. That's why your energy changes on this day faster than any other sign. Your instincts sharpen, your emotions intensify, your path shifts without warning. But this Tuesday, it's doing something different, something you haven't felt in a long time. Because Mars isn't calm right now. It isn't steady, it isn't predictable, it's restless, it's pacing, it's throwing sparks into your timeline and shaking loose anything that isn't meant for your next chapter. And you can feel it in your body before your mind understands it. Maybe you woke up uneasy. Maybe you felt pressure in your chest for no reason. Maybe your thoughts were running faster than your voice. Maybe your sleep didn't feel like sleep at all, more like you were wrestling with something in the dark. That's because Aries doesn't get warnings through words. You get warnings through energy, and Tuesday's energy has been getting louder. That sudden burst of excitement you couldn't explain, that wasn't random. That moment, you felt like you needed to change something immediately, not an accident. That urge to break a pattern, leave a situation, start something new, or confront something you've been avoiding. That was Mars pulling you toward the shift. And every Aries feels it differently. Some feel it as impatience. Some feel it as fire in the gut. Some feel it as a sudden clarity. Some feel it as pressure in the heart. Some feel it as a quiet voice saying, "This is your moment, don't ignore it." But the strongest sign comes from your intuition. Aries' intuition isn't soft. It hits like a strike. It drops into your mind like a truth bomb. It moves through your body like electricity. When something is wrong, you feel it instantly. When something is coming, you sense it before anyone else. And when destiny is shifting, your energy reacts before your eyes see the proof. That's what this Tuesday warning is. A shift, a build-up, a cosmic collision forming just beneath the surface. You may notice you're more alert, more sensitive to energy, more aware of timing, more reactive to lies or fake people, more uninterested in anything that feels small or temporary. Because deep down, part of you knows something bigger is forming around you. This is the kind of energy that pushes Aries into a new phase of life. This is the kind of energy that forces you to move. This is the kind of energy that throws you out of old patterns you've outgrown. You might feel like something is ending, something is starting, something is breaking, something is coming. And all of that can be true at the same time. The Tuesday warning isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. Because when Mars shifts like this, it never does it quietly. It brings the truth to the surface. It exposes the weak points in your life. It makes you confront what you've been avoiding. It pushes you out of comfort and into alignment. This isn't a gentle nudge. This is a fire push. Aries doesn't evolve slowly. You evolve through impact, through realization, through sudden moments that change everything. And this week carries that kind of moment. If you've been feeling disconnected, that's part of the shift. If you've been feeling restless, that's part of the shift. If you've been feeling like you're standing on the edge of something, that's part of the shift. If you've been feeling like the old you doesn't fit anymore, that's part of the shift. Because Tuesday isn't just a day for you, it's a trigger, a spark, a signal. This is the moment where the universe begins rearranging your path, and Aries is the first sign to feel the pressure. You're not imagining the change, you're not overthinking, you're not being dramatic, you're sensing the start of something real. The Tuesday warning is not a threat, it's an announcement. Something is about to shift in your life so sharply that your future will not look like your past. And this is only the first sign. Aries, something is slipping out of your life faster than you expected. You can feel it. You can sense it in the way certain people speak to you, in the way situations that once felt solid suddenly feel unstable, in the way certain parts of your life are becoming quieter, colder, or more distant. It might be a person, it might be a relationship, it might be a job, a pattern, a routine, or it might simply be an old version of yourself that no longer matches who you're becoming. What's leaving doesn't always announce its exit. Sometimes it just fades, sometimes it disconnects, sometimes it breaks without warning, sometimes it pulls away in a way that feels confusing and painful. And your first reaction? Fear, shock, a sudden sense of losing control. Aries energy hates losing anything without an explanation. You want answers, you want clarity, you want to know why something that once made sense now feels unstable. But the truth is deeper than the fear. What's leaving your life right now is leaving because it cannot follow you into the next chapter. This isn't chaos. This is clearing. Silent clearing. Cosmic clearing. The universe removes before it replaces. It cuts the cord before it creates the opening. It takes away the noise before it drops the opportunity. And Aries always feels this phase intensely because you are the first sign in the zodiac, the initiator, the fire starter, the one who always moves forward before the others. So when something leaves your life, it doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're being prepared. You may have noticed signs, a sudden distance between you and someone who used to be close. Plans falling apart without reason. Conversations that used to flow now feel forced and heavy. Things that once excited you feel dull. People you cared about feel distant, disconnected, or uninterested. Or maybe you feel emotionally detached without understanding why. These signs are not random. They're signals, they're markers that something is completing its role in your life. Not everything that begins is meant to stay. Not every connection is meant to be permanent. Not every relationship is meant to carry into your future. Some things enter your life to teach you, some to shift you, some to wake you up, some to push you, some to break you open, some to align you with something better. But once their purpose is done, their energy starts to fade. You may try to hold on. You may try to revive something that's already energetically finished. You may try to pretend nothing is changing. But deep down, you know when someone is drifting away. You know when a chapter has reached its final page. You know when you're forcing a connection that no longer has life. You know when you're holding on to a version of yourself you've already outgrown. Aries intuition is sharper than you admit. You feel endings before they become visible. You sense shifts before they become real. You recognize when the universe is making space, even if your mind isn't ready to accept it. And that's what's happening now. Something is leaving fast because you are about to step into something bigger. If a friendship feels off, it's because you're being aligned with people who match your growth. If a relationship feels unstable, it's because you're becoming someone the old dynamic can't hold. If a habit is breaking, it's because your next timeline requires a stronger version of you. If old dreams feel empty, It's because your destiny is expanding beyond what you once imagined. Transformation always begins with subtraction. Before the breakthrough, the universe removes the block. Before the opportunity arrives, the noise is cleared. Before your life upgrades, the outdated version dissolves. This is the exit sign before the entrance opens. And even though this phase feels painful, confusing, emotional, or heavy, your soul knows what's happening. Something is leaving because something greater is coming. Something is breaking because something new requires space. Something is ending because your story is about to shift. You are not being abandoned. You are being rerouted, redirected, rebuilt. Aries, when something leaves this quickly, it's because destiny is moving even faster. Aries, pay attention to everything that reaches you right now. Your phone, your notifications, your inbox, your social media, even the random alerts that usually mean nothing. Because during this shift, messages don't come by accident. Something unusual happens around this time. The universe starts sending signals through people, timing, and communication. And those signals arrive fast. It might be a text you didn't expect, a call you haven't been waiting for, a number that keeps repeating, a name you haven't heard in months suddenly showing up on your screen, a reminder that pops up at the exact moment your mind is thinking of something different. It can feel like coincidence, but for Aries, nothing about this phase is coincidence. This is alignment. This is rerouting. This is destiny tapping on your shoulder. Sometimes the message comes from someone familiar, a friend you drifted from, a connection you haven't spoken to, a person who had a role in your past. Other times it comes from someone completely unexpected, a stranger, a new opportunity, an accidental message, a comment, a chance encounter that feels strangely meaningful. And then there are moments when the message isn't from a person at all. It comes through a sign, a symbol, a word you keep hearing, a location that keeps repeating, a song playing at the exact time your emotions shift, a phrase that hits you harder than it should. Aries energy is deeply intuitive, even if you pretend you're just overthinking. You pick up signals before others notice them. You feel truth even when you don't have evidence. You sense when someone is about to return, reach out, or re-enter your story. This unexpected message is not just communication. It's a turning point. It arrives to shift your direction, to wake you up, to reveal something hidden, or to push you toward a decision you've avoided. For some Aries, the message brings clarity. For others, it brings closure. For others, it brings connection. And for a rare few, it brings opportunity so sudden it feels like it appeared out of thin air. This is the universe's way of saying, pay attention, you're being moved. You might feel a rush when the message comes, a strange pull in your chest, a tingle in your gut, a moment of recognition that feels almost familiar, like you've been waiting for this without realizing it. And the timing will feel suspiciously perfect. It won't arrive early. It won't arrive late. It arrives exactly when your energy is ready to shift. Sometimes the message delivers an answer you thought you'd never get. Sometimes it reveals something you didn't want to face. Sometimes it confirms a feeling you tried to ignore. Sometimes it opens a door you didn't know was still available. Sometimes it tells you, without words, you're not done. There's more coming. This kind of communication hits Aries differently. You don't receive messages softly. You receive them like impact. A mental jolt, a sudden realization, a spark that pushes you out of your current timeline. Your life changes the moment you recognize what the message means, not the moment you open it, not the moment you read it, the moment it hits your spirit. Because whatever reaches you now carries energy, intention, and purpose. It has weight, it has direction, it has meaning. And in this phase, The universe communicates clearly with Aries, not through confusion, but through unmistakable signs. Something is reaching you soon, a message meant to shift your steps, redirect your path, or awaken a part of you that has been silent for too long. When it arrives, you'll know. You'll feel it in your bones. This is the moment your timeline moves. Aries, there is something in your life right now that feels paused, something you've been waiting for, something you've been expecting, something that should have happened by now, but didn't. A decision, a message, a result, a change, a breakthrough, a closure, a movement that felt so close and then suddenly stopped. It's easy to assume it's stuck. It's easy to assume the timing is off. It's easy to assume the universe is ignoring you, especially because Aries hates waiting more than any sign in the zodiac. But this delay isn't random. It isn't a mistake. It isn't the universe turning its back on you. This delay is intentional. You were being held back on purpose, not to punish you, not to block you, not to frustrate you, but to align you. Because the timing you wanted and the timing that was meant for you were two completely different things. Something behind the scenes needed more time. Someone needed to reveal their truth. A situation needed to shift. Energy around you had to settle. Your path had to clear. Your direction needed realignment. Your intuition needed to catch up with your destiny. And your next chapter needed to open in the right moment, not the fast moment. Aries often moves before the path is ready. You run before the door opens. You jump before the ground is stable. You make decisions in seconds because your soul is wired for motion. But this time, the universe didn't let you rush. The pause happened for a reason you couldn't see. Think about it. How many times in your life did something delay, and later you realized the timing was perfect? How many times did something fall through only for something better to appear? How many times were you held back only to discover you were being redirected to something you didn't expect? That's what's happening now. This delay didn't block your blessing. It protected it. Your money decision is delayed because there is a better opportunity unfolding. Your job call is delayed because the path connected to it wasn't fully stable. Your relationship closure is delayed because the truth wasn't fully revealed yet. Your plans are delayed because the version of you needed for this next chapter is only emerging now. You weren't ready before, not in the way destiny needed you to be, but you're ready now. And here's the mysterious part of this energy. When divine timing hits Aries, it doesn't move slowly, it doesn't tiptoe, it doesn't whisper. It slams into your life like a force. When the pause lifts, everything accelerates. What didn't move for weeks moves in days. What was silent for months suddenly responds. What felt impossible falls into place like it was waiting behind a curtain. What felt far away lands directly in front of you. It's the kind of shift where you look back and say, if this happened earlier, it wouldn't have worked. The delay wasn't rejection. It was alignment, a recalibration of timing, a protection of your energy, a redirection towards something bigger than what you were settling for. This moment, this stretch of waiting, this frustration, this confusion was preparing you. Because what's coming requires a version of you that is stronger, clearer, wiser, and more focused. Aries doesn't enter new timelines softly. You enter through impact, through fire, through clarity that hits like lightning. And that clarity arrives with perfect timing. Not early, not late, exactly when destiny chooses. So if something has been paused in your life, don't assume it's over. Don't assume it failed. Don't assume the universe forgot you. You're in the middle of divine timing. You're in the space between chapters, where nothing moves because everything is being rearranged for your next step. And once this energy shifts, Once this specific moment arrives, the things that delayed will rush back with momentum. The breakthrough will come. The answer will appear. The opportunity will land. The door will open. Aries, the delay wasn't the end. It was the preparation for something that can only arrive at the perfect moment. And that moment is getting closer. Aries, this part of the journey is where the energy gets heavier, sharper, and strangely familiar. Because right before a massive breakthrough, the past doesn't politely leave. It pushes back. It resists. It tries to pull you into the version of yourself that you've already outgrown. And this week, especially as the November 24th shift approaches, you're going to feel something unusual. The old you waking up again. It will show up quietly at first. A memory you haven't touched in years suddenly resurfaces. A fear you thought you had mastered starts whispering again. A habit you swore you would never return to begins tempting you. A doubt you thought you buried starts shaking inside your chest. This is not random. This is not weakness. This is not you slipping back. This is the shadow of your old identity rising for one final moment before it dissolves. You might notice old fears coming back in waves, those thoughts that made you question your worth, your path, your timing. Suddenly, they feel loud again. Not because they're true, but because they are fighting to stay alive. Old doubts may resurface, even in areas where you've become stronger. You may catch yourself asking, "Am I really ready? Is this really for me? Why does this feel so overwhelming?" These questions are echoes from an old timeline trying to reclaim you. Old emotions could hit you unexpectedly. You may feel restless, anxious, nostalgic, or strangely emotional. It might feel like you're carrying weight that doesn't belong to you anymore. But this heaviness is the energy of your former self trying to cling to you, because it realizes you're slipping away from it. You may even experience old memories returning, not to hurt you, but to show you how far you've come. These memories appear like mirrors from your past, reminding you of the person you once were, the choices you made, the things you survived, and the versions of yourself you had to bury to evolve. Aries, this is not a breakdown. This is a purge. Your system is releasing emotional residues you didn't even know you were still holding. Your spirit is clearing space for a higher version of you. Your mind is shedding patterns that cannot follow you into your next level. And here is the deeper truth. The old version of you knows what's coming. It senses that you're stepping into something bigger, clearer, and more aligned. It can feel the shift before you can see it. And because of that, it's screaming one last time. It's trying to confuse you. It's trying to slow you down. It's trying to convince you that you're not ready. It's trying to make you believe that the old way was safer, easier, more familiar. But the reason this shadow feels so loud right now is because it is weakening. When something is dying energetically, it gets noisy. It thrashes. It claws. It tries to remain relevant. You are meeting the last fragments of a version of you that has no place in your next chapter. Over the next few days, you may feel moments of emotional conflict, feeling stronger and weaker at the same time, feeling healed yet triggered, feeling ready but overwhelmed. This friction is a sign that you're crossing the threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. Every time an old fear returns, you're meant to recognize it from a higher state of awareness. Every time an old pattern appears, you're meant to choose differently. Every time an old doubt whispers, you're meant to stand firmer. This is the final test before the new timeline opens. You're not fighting your past, you're outgrowing it. You're not being pulled backward, you're being pushed forward. You're not collapsing, you're shedding. And when the energy shifts after November 24th, you'll realize that everything you're feeling now is a sign that you're stepping into a version of yourself that your past self could only dream of. This shadow is the last doorway you must walk through, and once you do, the new you finally arrives. Whisper, if you're still here. Aries, then hear this carefully. You weren't scrolling. You weren't wandering. You didn't end up here by accident. Something pulled you. Something guided you. Something knew you were ready. You were called. And when Aries is called, it's never subtle. It's never gentle. It's destiny tapping your shoulder. Thunder. This Tuesday, November 24th, marks a powerful energetic shift, a rare portal that opens only for those who are prepared to step into a higher path. And Aries, this frequency hits you first. This is the kind of shift that doesn't whisper. It repositions everything. It rearranges timelines. It bends the path beneath your feet. It removes what's blocking you and accelerates what's meant for you. This is not symbolic. This is alignment in real time. Prophecy peak. Aries, this moment is the turning point. Your destiny flips. Your path resets. Your future activates. Your timeline speeds up in a way that only chosen souls experience. You were chosen to hear this, not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. Ready to shed the old weight. Ready to walk into a new identity. Ready to step into the version of yourself that your past self kept waiting for. When this portal hits, you will feel a pull, a shift in your intuition, a clarity in your mind, a rise in your energy. And the most powerful confirmation of all, if this message reached you today, on a Tuesday, then your destiny has already begun to rearrange itself. The new chapter has opened, and Aries, you're already standing in it.